Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for the 20th of January. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy and then one card for each sign, and we'll see how those energies blend together with each other. All right, so for overall energy, what do we have coming up? And this picture will clear up as we get more cards on the table and the camera adjusts. But right now what we have here is the death card showing up in reverse. And with the death card in reverse, this, for me, this has to do with the idea that there's somebody, whether it's you or somebody in your sphere of influence, there is somebody here that has some changes that if they made those changes, that would improve things for them. And probably, if this is somebody in your sphere of influence, then it would improve things for you as well as sort of a side effect if this is showing up in your reading. But if this is you, it would improve things for you. But with the death card in reverse, even though this change is known about, like it's known that, okay, it would be good to make this change, there's some fear going on here for whoever this is, that this is the change that they need to make. They're not sure how this is going to impact other parts of their life, and so they're not sure what to do about this change, and they're sort of digging in their heels, whether it's you or somebody else, sort of digging in their heels and saying, no, 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 I don't know enough about how this is going to impact all the parts of my life for me to take a risk like that. So I'm not taking a change, even though I know it'll help at least in one area. I don't feel secure enough to make this change and do this and see what happens in the other areas of my life. Okay, so that's what our central energy is going to have to do with. We're going to see how that plays out in each of our lives as we go through the zodiac here. So, let's start with Aries as usual. So Aries, what we have coming up here is that Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is showing up as in reverse. So what's going on here basically is that there is some kind of change that you could be making that would improve some portion of your life. Maybe you're not even thinking about that. It could improve a financial portion, but the Page of Pentacles in reverse says that holding back on whatever this change is actually brings you some news about money that you would rather not hear. So this is impacting your finances by not making this change. All right, so something to think about. And guys, when things show up on my table, we don't have to follow the pattern as it shows up on the table. This is advice or heads up. We're getting this at the beginning of the day so that if we see something we don't like, we have free will. We can make some changes here. So if we see that there's something that we're not doing that we could be doing and it's impacting our finances and we're not down with that, which I don't know who would be, then we can change that energy. We can actually welcome in that change that we're holding back from and let that be something that's positive on our finances instead. We don't have to be locked into this bad news about finances. We can make some adjustments. That's the beauty of getting a reading ahead of time. All right, so off my soapbox, on to Taurus. What do you guys have? The 10 of Cups. Okay, for Taurus, what's happening here? What's happening here? What is our message for Taurus today? Okay, Taurus, here's the thing. You're feeling fairly comfortable in your relationships and your emotions. You feel like you've got some happiness going on. There is a change that you know that you could be making and that would benefit you to make, but I think you're holding off on that because you feel like that might rock the boat whenever it comes to relationships. And so you're holding back. Here is the thing with this card, basically. It talks about some kind of change that needs to be made. By holding back from making this change, all you're doing is slowing the process down. You will be making this change, whether you drag your feet about it or whether you run to it. All right? Now, if you drag your feet about it, then you make everything harder along the way. If you run to it, yes, it's not easy, but you get to the other side where things start to settle down and get more comfortable again more quickly. Here, what we have with this 10 of Cups like this is basically saying okay, I've hit a point in my relationships where I have a certain level of happiness. If I make a change, I could upgrade that level of happiness, but I feel really secure right here. A change kind of scares me, so I'm not going to do it. All right, so I can see why you're comfortable, Taurus. I would still encourage you to make this change. Whatever this is a change you already know about and that you already know would benefit you in some way. All right. What you don't know is that it's going to benefit you in a lot of other ways as well. You know it'll impact your life in a big way. You don't know if it's going to benefit the other parts of your life. This is encouragement that it will. All right. So next up, we're going to look at Gemini. Gemini's Queen of Pentacles. What's going on here? What's going on here? Geminis. Okay, so with that overall energy at play here, excuse me, it looks like there's a change that you need to make that you're not really willing to make right now, because right now you feel like you have everything that you want to have, not only for yourself, but also to share with others. And you may be really big right now on sharing with and supporting other people. And it looks to me like you're afraid if you make changes, you would not be able to share with and support those other people. And so that's really that fear that is holding you back from moving forward. So that's a good thing to really examine and sort of look at, okay, first of all, is this fear realistic? And if it's realistic, is it something that, you can make a change and still be able to do what you want to do? And then the other aspect that you might want to look at here is, is it actually healthy for me to be supporting other people as much as I'm supporting them? Is this a situation where you need to do that? Like, is this about, young children that literally cannot support themselves? Or is this about somebody who really should be doing what they need to do to support themselves? So if you pulled back, then they would kind of have to step up to the plate. Plus, you would get a chance to improve your own life. So you really want to think about this and think about how supporting other people is affecting you, especially if it's getting you into a point where you're thinking about some kind of improvement for your own life and you're hesitant to do it. That's a red flag for me. And I can say that because I've totally done this. I've totally been in a position where I've supported other people in different ways, emotionally, financially, whatever, and I refused to set some boundaries for myself and allow me time to regenerate myself, and that ends badly. Let's just put it like that. That ends badly. So I can speak about this a little bit from experience. So it's just something that you want to think about, you want to consider where you're really standing with that and what's the most healthy approach here. All right, so who was that? That was Gemini. Next up, we're looking at Cancers. Okay, so Cancer, we've got the Emperor showing up in reverse. All right, Cancer, here's the thing. Here's the thing you need to know. You have a person in your life who needs to make some type of change. They're refusing to make that change, even though they know that it would benefit them, and as a side effect, it would benefit you as well, in a big way. Okay? The reason they're refusing to make that change is because they are afraid of what it's going to do to other parts of their life. They don't know that improving one part is going to improve all parts. They don't get that. And so because they are basically absolutely terrified, they're not making that change. When we have the Emperor showing up in reverse, this is somebody who does not have control over something about their lives. So with the Emperor in reverse in this situation, what we've got is we have somebody who has some authority, who has some influence over other people, particularly over you, and they don't have control over their fears. And so if something comes up and they're afraid to follow through on something, they're not going to, because they don't know how to stand up to those fears. They don't have control over their own fears. And this is why we see them not being motivated to make this change, even though it would do them good, because they're afraid of what it's going to do to all the other aspects of their life, and they can't see a good outcome with that, even though they may not see a good outcome with the way things are right now. but they feel like they're way in over their head, or in way over their head, I guess I should say. All right. So that's, I do want to say one other thing. I feel like I'm morally obligated to say one other thing. This person that we're seeing that's not able to change definitely shows strong tendencies to act like a narcissist or to have strong narcissistic behavior showing up. So, if you don't know what that is, it's probably a good thing to Google that and figure out, what kind of person that you're dealing with here. Okay? Just for your own well-being and information. All right, that was Cancer. Next up, we're going to look to Leo. Leo. What is going on here? This is interesting. It looks contradictory at first glance. What is this? So you've got the Six of Wands. Bum, ba, da, da, ba. Bum, ba, da, da. Leos. Okay, with that overall energy, I think you've got a change that you need to make that would improve definitely one aspect of your life and probably quite a few. However, you're afraid to make that change because you're not sure it's really going to improve things. And with the Six of Wands, I think you have pulled off talking to somebody about why you should not make this change and life would be so much better if you didn't. And they are, they're seeing you as, okay, well, they're right, and that makes sense, and okay, and they may even be showing you appreciation for not making this change that is going to help you move forward. Here's the thing that I'm going to say to you, Libra. The only person that you're really kidding, well, the only important person that you're really kidding is yourself. Stop that. Stop that. Face up to this change that you know you need to make. And just start figuring out how you can do it. You'll be much happier once you've actually made this change than you will be trying to run away from the change and convince everybody else you're doing the right thing. All right, so let's get to the happiness part. That's all I have to say. All right, and that wasn't Libra, that was Leo. Excuse me. I know I called you Libra a couple of times. My apologies. My apologies, Leos. This may apply also to Libras as well, though, with me saying Libra a couple of times. But I know I said Leo at the beginning and I caught it at the end, so this is still a Leo card. You just might have to share your card with someone else today. Next up, we're going to look at Virgo. Virgo, you have the Eight of Wands. Communication. Virgo, here's what I'm feeling about you guys. I feel like there is somebody in your sphere of influence who does need to make a change. However, they're not doing it because they're afraid of what happens if they do it. Even though they know one portion of what happens will be good, they're afraid of the other portions. Okay, I talked all about this at the front of the video. Go back and check out overall energy. Eight of Wands, this is a whole lot of communication. I think that there's a whole lot of communication coming in to this person who's in your sphere of influence. In fact, you may even be organizing that. So there's a lot of you talking to this person about this change that needs to be made. Like I said, you may be organizing this. This really looks like an intervention to me. If it's not an intervention, it's pretty close to an intervention. All right. Whether it has to do with drugs and alcohol or whether it has to do with some other type of change that needs to be made. This looks like people getting together in an organized way, giving this person a whole lot of information about why it would be great if they would change things. Okay. That was for who? Virgo. Next up, we're looking at Libra. Libras, you guys have the Moon card. The Moon card coming up here. Okay, Libras, I really feel like you've got a situation here where there's somebody in your sphere of influence who does need to make a change that would improve things, not only in their lives, but also in your life as a side effect as well. I think what's going on here with these two cards is they're saying they're making that change. However, their actions are not lining up. And you may not be able to see their actions. Maybe you're working a lot of overtime, so you're not around to witness what their actions really are. I don't know. I don't know why you're not seeing that. But their actions are not lining up with their words. Maybe you just refuse to look at the red flags. That could be too. All right. So if somebody's telling you that they're making changes, make sure that they are proving that as well. For some of you, not for all of you, for some of you, it means it's time for you to get those at home, over the counter urine tests. Now, that's not going to be true for all of you, but for some of you. All right, next up, let's look at Scorpio. Scorpio, High Priestess showing up here. Boop-ba-da-doo-doo, boop-ba-da-doo. What do we have as our message? Scorpios. Here's the deal, Scorpios. I think our intuition is telling us today about some kind of change that we need to make that we've sort of been avoiding making for a while. So it's a really good day to pay attention to our intuition, because I think besides letting us know about the change that we need to make, I think that intuition will also guide us on how to actually accomplish that. All right, time to follow our inner guidance system. Okay, next up, let's look at Capricorn. Not Capricorn, Sagittarius. So sorry, but I did say Capricorn when I pulled this card, so we're going to hold that back for Capricorn. Sagittarius, here's your card. Page of Wands showing up in reverse. Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Sagittarius, here's what I think is going on. I think you've got somebody in your sphere of influence who is not making a change that would be beneficial for themselves and everybody around. And I think that once you realize that that change is not actually happening, I think that that sort of deflates you. It makes you feel less positive energy towards this person or any projects you may be working on with this person. All right, now let's get back to Capricorn, who came out of order, which is not really like Capricorn normally. They like their organization. Okay, so Capricorn's 9 of Swords is the card that you pulled today. What do we have? What do we have? Capricorns, you've got somebody in your sphere of influence who refuses to make a change that would be helpful, positive, and healthy, and it's impacting your life as well. And I think that this is actually causing you a lot of stress. I think that you were counting on the idea that they were going to make this change, and now that it's not so much happening, I think you're stressing out about it. And stressing out about what to do about it yourself, because this changes... this kind of changes a little bit about how you operate when somebody behaves in this way. Okay, next up, we're going to look at Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius, 5 of Swords showing up in reverse. Boop-ba-da-doo, ba, boop-ba-da-doo. Boop-ba-da-doo, doo-doo-doo. Aquarius, this is really interesting. I think you've got somebody in your sphere of influence who does not want to make some changes that would be beneficial to them because, in a nutshell, they're terrified. And I think you're the one that sort of is talking them down from the ledge, more or less. You're convincing them that it would be really in their best interest to make that change after all, helping them to see big picture, more from a 30,000 feet type of altitude than from a 4 or 5 foot type of altitude. Good for you, Aquarius. Pisces. Okay, Pisces, you guys have the Magician showing up here. What is happening? What is happening? Oh, this is interesting, Pisces. I think you have somebody in your sphere of influence who really could use with making a change, but that's not what they're doing because they're afraid of where that change would lead. And with that Magician card coming up here, I think you're realizing that this person is not making that change that they need to make. And what you're doing is you're coming to a point of acceptance of, okay, this is how it is. This is what I've got to work with. And this is how I'm going to move forward. And with that Magician, you're just, once you come to that point of acceptance, you're just going out and manifesting those things that you want to manifest. And you're not being slowed down by this other person who has these changes they need to make, because you've just recognized that, okay, they can only contribute so much. So the rest is on me. Or maybe they can't even contribute at all. And you're looking at, okay, the rest is on me. And you're just getting out there and you're just manifesting those things that you want to manifest in your life. You're doing it to it. You're not putting any kind of excuses on, well, this person isn't helping me. You're just getting out there and taking care of business. All right. So good for you, Pisces. All right, guys. So that's what I've got for today. Thank you very much for being here. I am looking forward to reading for some of you privately later on today. And the rest of you, thank you for your support and the thumbs ups and sharing this video and also putting comments down below. And of course, also, everyone, have a fantastic day. And I'll see you guys back on the next video. Peace out.